What's good, Smart YouTube, man? We back in a reaction video. We got my boy Ty Learn with the goatkentaleoneKyoya. Now you may be thinking, is it Ryuga? Yes, it is. But there's 3 contenders for the GOAT. 3. You got the undisputed GOAT, in my opinion, in a lot of people's opinion, Ryuga. Then you have Gingka and Mr. Kyoya. Now, y'all know I'm rewatching the Beyblade series on my channel, and yeah, part 1 Kyoya. Now, beginning Kyoya is kind of overrated. I ain't gonna lie, he look like he overrated, but he's a dog. He a dog, but you're gonna learn about that from my boy Ty. So with that being said, his channel is gonna be linked down below along the rest of the video. Make sure you go show him some love. Hit the sub button, all that good stuff. Even I right into it, you know, you gotta hit the lights and make it full screen, because it's only right. It's only right.
It is I, Kyoya It's finally time, ladies and gentlemen. Kyoya Tategane, my favorite character within the Metalverse, and in my opinion is consistently the best written character. Although my favorite story arc in the entire series isn't Kyoya related, it goes without saying this guy is my sweet glorious king in Beyblade, and be warned that there will be a lot of glazing in this video. Yeah, you heard it from me. Now, before Kyoya became the GOAT we all know and love, he originally was just kind of a loser. Bro led a group called the Face Hunters, and they would steal points from children because it's funny. Like,
a loser.
Kyoya doesn't really do this directly though, but he does give orders and is usually just sitting on his ass waiting for someone to show up who's kind of strong. And that's when he meets none other than Gingka Hagane, the new kid in town who'd go out to solo Kyoya's whole squad with no hesitation, which would begin to pique his interest. This would inevitably lead into these two battling, where Kyoya would not only have the advantage, but would be holding Kenta's Beyblade hostage. Even despite the odds against Gingka and how far Kyoya was willing to go, Pegasus wins and leaves Kyoya and Leon to just process their L, pretty much like Yugi did to
Loser.
Which leads into a man named Doji arriving, who, like Kyoya,
Doji was talking so crazy to Kyoya.
He tricked bro into taking his training program and becoming stronger, since he thought it was a way to ensure Ginka's defeat. This man suffered probably the only real L he's ever taken in his life, and he's willing to climb cliffs and fight coyotes to get his get back. Even at this point in the series, little me was low-key rooting for him to win or at least do decent against Gingka, because bro, he was cheating in the first fight. I wanted Kyoya to at least be fair. And also, sorry for the Gingka fans, but he's just not as cold as Kyoya. Anyway, after coming back stronger than ever and realizing
he showed him he was cold,
betrayed him, he'd go on to bully Benkei along with Kenta, and he'd fight Gingka once again in a battle that was really intense, but in the end Gingka still defeated him. Doji, after his project failed, would show his true colors and dispose of him quickly, leading into Kyoya now wanting to get his revenge and reluctantly helping Gingka and the others to take him down. Also, you're going to notice past this point in the series, Kyoya never tries to get specific advantages over Gingka or really any other opponent in order to win. Rather, he actually goes about it like Gingka and fair and square with his own power.
And that's when he became a dog.
Well, we do see that Kyoya is someone who has a passion for Beyblade, and just like Gingka, does like fighting strong opponents. It may seem simple for Kyoya to really only connect with Gingka through battling, but to me, when you realize this and acknowledge the extreme differences in these two in their introduction, you realize as time goes on that these guys aren't really that different, and Kyoya himself is someone who acknowledges his rival's strength, which I respect. And it's not like Kyoya
and we need more like that
playing catch up. He's pretty much on Ginka's tier for most of the series. He proves himself by defeating Ginka's past opponents like Hikaru and Hiyoma, and even tries standing up against Yu, but he gives up because his Bey was damaged and realized he was being selfish. After this point in the series, as we know, the BattleBladers event would be announced, with Kyoya being the first person to gather all the points and win both of his battles with relatively no difficulty. He fights Water Dark Nebula and Sun's Benkei, but his hardest fight would be in the semifinals, that being against none other than Ryuga himself. The guy who made Gingka, who, by the way, is the guy who made Kyoya grind for so long just to lose again, have a complete mental breakdown and probably put him at the lowest point.
Put him at PTSD.
And without a doubt, this is top 1 fights in all of Beyblade. These just go blow for blow with their spirits manifesting as their actual bodies as their Beyblades are clashing, along with Ryuga going over his limit, leading into the Dark Power taking control and legit stealing Kyoya's soul. But even before this moment, Kyoya pushed Ryuga over the edge, and
he pushed him to that point.
Performances Regardless against Ryuga in the entire show. Because I'm not gonna lie, besides this and him actually losing to Ginga and Rago, he never was pushed to such a degree the way that Kyoya pushed him specifically.
Literally.
I personally think before Ginga got amped, Kyoya was pressing him more, but that's just
He
me.
was.
But anyway, Ginga, even in the final fight, needed Kyoya and everyone else's power to even stand up to Ryuga. And it gets a lot more evident in Masters, which I will now get into, that Kyoya is not at all that far behind from Ginga. Now, in Metal Masters, Team Ginga is a little different. It focuses on 5 of the main characters, and one of them isn't Kyoya. But even despite his lack of screen time, he always somehow stood on business and stole the show. Immediately after his introduction, we see him coming out as number 1 in the qualifiers for a position in Team Japan, which
but he
then
declines
proceeds to deny, fly to another country, and then represent said team so he can take out Ginga personally. I'm not gonna lie, fuck y'all Ryuga fans. Yeah, he's cool. Oh my god, he shoots hollow purple. I have never seen someone be this committed to getting a get back before, besides Roy Mustang, but that's for another video. Granted, Ryuga, again,
that is kind of tough though.
Fusion is just never losing to anyone besides Rago, but regardless, Kyoya doing this shows you just how committed he is to proving he's the best.
Is,
think of
literally.
season 1 as
and he
Kyoya
really putting the time
discovering
in.
who he is and him igniting his true base spirit, while season 2 is him trying to use this new flame within him to be the very thing that made him ignite it in the first place. We see him gather 2 new allies in Niall and Demore, and Benkei even somehow makes it onto the team, which I'm glad at least he gets some screen time.
He gets, yeah.
As we all know, we get the infamous Ginga and Kyoya rematch, with this battle showing
and they
just
put
how
in,
hard Kyoya pushed
man,
himself to win. And even despite Ginga getting
I really thought Kyoya was gonna win.
Anyone in season 1, Kyoya would manage to draw with Ginga with the same Beyblade he's had since the beginning. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels really weird that Ginga even tied with Kyoya. Ginga never had the advantage in that fight, but it does lead into one of the other best fights in the series, that being the 2-on-2 match with Kyoya, Niall, and Ginga and Masamune. Where as soon as Kyoya believes he's finally going to get his W, Masamune would catch him off guard with his own spirit to win, which was stronger than even Kyoya's will to beat Ginga. And because Kyoya was so determined to beat Ginga, he never really teamed up with Niall or did combo moves, and really, it costed him the match. But technically, he's not weaker than Ginga, and is at worst equal to him. After spectating his matches and even cheering Ginga on against
that's
Damien,
a lot for like no upgrade or nothing.
Like
he said, it's no upgrade, just
Jack
still
taking on Damien and defeating him in a one-on-one. And interestingly enough, the Damien that he fights is supposedly stronger than the Ginga who just defeated him. And Ginga himself shouldn't have gotten that much stronger from his fight with Damien. He never really gets an amp against Tempo or any of the Ziggurat goons, and at best could probably beat Damien to the same degree as Kyoya, but I don't think he could prove that. This is important to note because this stronger Damien got cooked by Kyoya. Rather than breaking out of the Gate of Hades and overpowering Damien outside like Ginga, he would break the realm of hell itself and destroy the gate from the inside, which in my opinion is way more impressive. And yes, Ginga is fighting Tempo, but again, it doesn't really mean anything since he doesn't get an amp, and without Ryuga's help, he was gonna get cooked. Regardless of what you think though, by the beginning of Fury, they both would have been training like crazy since the World Tournament and end up portraying relativity before Leon would evolve into a whole new league. Rock Leon would now be known as Fang Leon, and we'd see Kyoya, because of gaining new power, kind of going back to his roots, and ends up a little too cocky, like borderline stupid cocky. Like he would get humbled pretty badly by both Ryuga and Aguma, and the Aguma W
it was kind of bad
because the whole time he thought that Aguma was another guy. And these two bladers as well have also been chosen by the stars, and now need to work alongside Kyoya and Ginga and the others, which Kyoya doesn't rock with as he mainly sticks to his own path, which is what he mostly does. He would beat Aguma in a rematch, beat up a controlled Dynamis, and help gather the last legendary blader, aka Tiffy. I do want to point out in terms of strength, we see Kyoya initially becoming stronger than Ginga since he discovers his special move first, but by the time Ginga gets Cosmic Tornado, both of them are just kind of equal again, which I do like to see, but in general, Kyoya this season just didn't feel as impactful to the plot in comparison to Fusion and even
He really didn't.
Like,
he was
Fury,
barely there.
Like, he has more screen time than he does in Masters, but it seems like narratively they just don't really take the character into a new direction. But what I can say is he's a more
but he's still cold though.
He was in Masters since he started derailing again, but picked it back up. But in all honesty though, this arc seems kind of weak to me, especially when you see what other characters go through that I've talked about already, like Masamune or even Kenta. Regardless, I still appreciate Kyoya in Metal Fury, and especially 2 specific scenes with him. First being with Kyoya defending Ryuga's honor, which to me was a really nice touch. The rivalry between these 3 was always so special, and I'm glad we got to see more of these 2 rather than Ginga versus one or the other. And and the other scene being when Kyoya suggests to Jinga that they all give him their base spirits. If this isn't the most full circle moment in the series,
it is.
I don't know what is. I don't gotta explain this, right? This man legit
you ain't got
did
to.
everything in his path, like cheated to try and defeat Jinga. And rather, instead of him jumping him or using advantages, he gives Jinga the advantage and allows him to defeat Rago. After Rago's defeat as well, this man Kyoya doesn't even stop. He would go on to beat every single legendary blader one by one before then challenging Jinga to a final battle where, like with Rocky vs. Apollo in Rocky 3, ends with the fight just starting. This is why Kyoya is my GOAT and easily the best Beyblade character to me, at least.
He hard.
Next video is either you being a fraud or Subasa's art.
It's hard though. Like, it's really hard. Like, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong at all. Like, don't get me wrong at all. When I like Ryuga the GOAT, but it's just like Brian, Kobe, and Jordan. It's the 3 GOATs, and you can make a strong case for the 3 of them. Cause boy, Kyoya him though, like Kyoya him. It's like Jinka him too, and Ryuga him too. Like, but Kyoya really came full circle, and I really like character-wise, Kyoya is. And then Ryuga and Jinka. There's like, but like, if we talking about just like all around Ryuga, Kyoya, then Jinka, it's like Jinka cool. I ain't gonna lie, he cool. Jinka cold. But it's like them two. Like like you said, I do appreciate the between him and Ryuga. And like it's so much. I appreciate that. But with that being said. My boy channel gonna be linked down below along there's in the video. Make sure you go show us love, hit the sub button, all that good stuff. Gonna get like Kyoya the go, bro. He if you had to rank the 3 of them, what order you putting it in? That's yeah. That's what it is. Mine's Ryuga, Kyoya, and Jinka. So let me know what y'all got, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.